I'm going to give the call to the member for Indi, and I expect some silence so we can hear the question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is
I call the member for Indi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Infrastructure and Regional Development. Minister, do you agree that a high-speed rail passenger network connecting Melbourne to Brisbane with a station at Wodonga in Indi will transform regional Australia? Minister, what are you doing to progress this project and the recommendations of the 2013 High-Speed Rail Advisory Group?
I call the Honourable the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Infrastructure and Regional Development.
Thank you,
and there will be
Speaker.
silence for the answer.
I thank the honourable member for her question, and there's no doubt at all that a high-speed rail line would transform regional Australia and, of course, also the transport network between our capital cities. As we look forward to the future, we need to examine the role that each mode of transport can play in our future transport needs, and that will be a major challenge. Now, as the honourable member will be aware, the Phase 2 study of the Inland Rail identified that the project was feasible, but it would have very substantial costs. Their estimate was about $114 billion in 2013 numbers, and clearly that number is going to continue to go up as time goes by. They also suggested that an appropriate time frame to build this project would be between 2027 and 2065. Now, it is a very big project and clearly would require major effort. Now, when this government came to office, I wrote to the states following the Phase 2 study and asked them to engage in discussions in relation to the acquisition or reservation of the corridor. There are many thousands of properties that would have to be resumed or reserved for this purpose, and they're in urban areas, they're in rural areas, they're in national parks and all sorts of sensitive areas. And clearly we need to be working on that kind of thing right early in the piece. Now, the states, to be fair, haven't shown a great deal of enthusiasm to engage in that process, and I can appreciate the very difficult and practical challenges that are faced in that regard. Now, the key issue is clearly going to be funding a project of this nature. We are looking at innovative ways in which it might be possible to fund a project of that size. I've had many offers from international companies to build the project, but actually no one's come offering the money. And in view of the fact that we're heavily focused on paying off the debt left to us by Labor and paying the interest on that bill, it's much more difficult to go out and borrow money of that magnitude. But the honourable member for Bennelong and his committee have been doing work on innovative funding proposals, including value capture and the like, and that's an important part of building a case and establishing the practicality of building a project of this magnitude. So we are progressing the study, looking at what the options might be, and hopefully coming to a position with cooperation between the states and the territories where there can be a definite decision made to take the next steps towards a project of this nature. But clearly we need to be sure that it's economically viable. There are engineering and environmental challenges, and we'll work constructively to achieve solutions to those issues.